We could start it. Just come in. Action. Okay. Mr. Johnson, what do you think are the consequences of the global financial crisis for the wine business?
Well, my friends seem to be drinking more. I don't know, perhaps to drown their sorrows. I don't know. No, I mean it's obviously serious, and places like Australia is in terrible trouble. There's bad news coming in from all around. A lot of producers of wine are actually sort of keeping the news quiet at the moment. But I'm afraid there are going to be casualties, and I just hope they're not the best producers.
Do you think Germany will be able to become one important provider of high quality red wine in the near future?
I think German red wine is obviously profiting from climate change, and the German customers are determined to drive it onwards. I mean, they really want to be proud of German red wine, and I would say that 15 years ago it was quite difficult to be proud of German red wine, quite honestly. But now there are wines from not only southern vineyards, but also even the northern vineyards from the Rheingau and the Ahr and so on, which are, so long as they put the Spätburgunder in the right place, they are surprising everybody. I don't think they'll ever have a great international market because there's a shortage of great Pinot Noir or Spätburgunder around the world. But they will supply Germany, and that's great.
I'd like to ask you about the protests against the bridge project in Germany's Mosel Valley. Why do you think that Mrs. Robinson's and your protests haven't helped yet to reconsider or halt the project?
Well, as far as my protest is concerned, it's because it hasn't had time. I only heard about it a month ago, and I went there and I led a demonstration in the vineyards, and I was very depressed because it was clear that the locals had given up protesting. They thought the whole thing was over many, many years ago, and so did I. I mean, I heard about the project maybe 30 years ago, and then it was dropped. And now suddenly, in the middle of a recession, the government of Rhineland-Pfalz suddenly finds all these millions to waste on a useless road to wreck one of Germany's best vineyard areas. I mean, I found it hard to believe, except that the German government has a track record for stupidity in anything to do with wine. I mean, we all know about the catastrophic wine laws of 1971. And I know quite a bit about that because I was just doing my World Atlas of Wine at that time. And I was constantly going to the ministerium in Mainz saying, okay, what's the latest news? What are the laws going to be? And they told me. And I said, you're joking. You can't do that. It's the most stupid thing I've ever heard. Creating Grosslagen and stuff like that. It was a terrible political maneuver, and its net result was to ruin German exports, for sure, for tens of years into the future, and they still haven't recovered. I mean, my country used to be the greatest importer of German wine. We used to be connoisseurs of Rieslings. Now I hardly can persuade my friends to drink it. All this stems from the German government and its folly, and it's just sad all these years later to see them designing a road which will screw up the vineyards of Wehlen, Zeltingen, Grach, and maybe Urzig too, which will put a huge viaduct over a beautiful part of the Middle Mosel. And for what? For an airport that nobody wants. It's really stupid.